Today's Pokemon Theory contest entry seems to focus on the idea that Necrozma might actually be the creator of the Ultra Beasts. This theory is pretty compelling, interesting, and something I've also thought of myself. So make sure you sign in, get ready to like and share the video. Your likes are votes on whether this person should win my Pokemon Theory contest. If you want to know the details about the contest, check out the card and the link below. And other than that, we'll just jump right into today's contest entry. Hello and welcome back to Pokemon Theory, the show where Professor Oak really isn't a professor, and going to the gym doesn't mean pumping iron. Unless you're in Dewford Town, which is a literal gym.
I always found it weird that Necrozma isn't considered an Ultra Beast. The similarities are definitely there. They all originate from Ultra Space. According to the Ultra Recon Squad, they exude the same energy. They are all an invasive species. Their stats are all prime numbers, and yet, with all these things in common, they're not classified as the same thing. Why though? With all these similarities, how can they not be classified as the same thing? It is stated that the same energy exuding from the wormholes, from the totem Pokemon, and from these strange creatures all originate from the same source, Ultra Necrozma. It is my belief that Ultra Beasts are simply mutated forms of life, people and or Pokemon, caused by the energy produced by Ultra Necrozma. We already know from totem Pokemon that just a little bit of Necrozma's energy is enough to mutate them in such a way that they start getting bigger and stronger. They also share a similar trait to the Ultra Beasts, boosting a core stat during battle. This ability the totem Pokemon have comes from the residual energy from the wormholes, and just residual energy is enough to affect Pokemon in such a way. What would happen if a Pokemon were to take that energy directly from the source? Or maybe even a human? Ultra Necrozma's Dex entry does state that the light pouring out from all over its body affects living things and nature. It doesn't specify Pokemon. What makes you think that the UBs were once people, you may be asking? Well, didn't you think it was strange that some of the UBs look pretty similar to characters we see in the game? And even stranger that after completing the game, that there were no real connections? Pheromosa looks pretty similar to Lusamine, even striking the same pose as Lusamine. Nihiligu's Dex entry states that it's reminiscent of a little girl, which is a pretty specific description for a shapeless jellyfish creature. And yet, playing through the game, the connections weren't there. It doesn't make sense for a Game Freak to go above and beyond with the similarities just for it to be a red herring. I don't necessarily believe that Pheromosa and Nihiligo are mutated Lusamine and Lily from another dimension. I do believe, however, that the similarities shared between all of them aren't to draw a connection to each other, but rather to highlight the human characteristics the UBs possess. We already know, from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, that Necrozma may have been contained in Ultra Megalopolis, but it doesn't originate from there. The Ultra Recon Squad make it clear that it didn't shine upon their world alone. In fact, it shared its energy throughout Ultra Space. What effect do you think that would have on the wildlife? A creature whose energy affects all living things, to the point where just residual energy of what it once was is enough to drastically change Pokemon. Maybe that's why the locations of the UBs seem really weird as well. Just a result of Necrozma not only affecting people and Pokemon, but nature itself. I don't believe Ultra Necrozma does this on purpose though, or at the very least if it does so with good intentions. At the end of the day, it's a pretty powerful Pokemon. If it is the cause of the creation of the UBs, and its goal is to destroy the ecosystem or cause destruction, creating UBs is a pretty roundabout way of doing things, especially when you look at the location of the UBs and see life is flourishing. Well, aside from where we find Guzzlord, but that's definitely not where it originates from. The UBs are based on invasive species. An invasive species is only a threat in the new environment it's placed in, but the ecosystem from whence it came from shouldn't be unbalanced, since it would have time to adapt to it. I really do believe this theory to be true. The UBs looking human-like and sharing the same energy that Necrozma has made me pretty confident. And also, if EVs are based on invasive species, when you really think about it, is there a species more invasive than humans?
Quite the interesting video, and if I recall, there's no real canon explanation as to who or what created the Ultra Beasts, which make me think, why didn't they just make it official that Necrozma did it? Either way, do you believe that Necrozma created the Ultra Beasts, or do you think there's something more at play here? You let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and share, because your likes are still votes on whether or not this person should win the contest. Now, I've been your host, Protomario, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one.